We are deeply saddened that he is no longer with us, but know that he will continue to be by our side to guide us as gracefully as he always has.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 heartwarming Bob Saget stories.
And people were saying, oh, we can't believe Bob Saget said those things he did. And to people who knew him, we couldn't believe he'd say anything but those things.
For this list, we'll be looking at memories and tributes that friends, colleagues, and family members have shared in the wake of this beloved comedian's untimely passing. Do you have any heartwarming Bob Saget stories? Feel free to share them in the comments below. Number 10. Jeff Franklin. Jeff Franklin created, executive produced, and wrote for the sitcom that brought Saget his widest audience, Full House. Franklin might have created Danny Tanner, but Saget breathed life into the iconic TV dad. Franklin paid tribute to their 42 years of friendship on Instagram, saying, quote, "I wrote the role of Danny Tanner for my friend Bob Saget. The character was kind, genuine, neurotic, a bit nerdy, a hugger with a heart of gold, and endearingly funny. That was Bob." While Franklin left Saget's X-rated stand-up out of the family-friendly show, he credited the actor's, quote, "charm and lovability" for making Danny a household name.
Let's go, Mom. Your bags are in the cab. The meter's running.
The baby's sleeping like a baby.
Franklin assured Saget that his spirit and work would live on, sending his love to the late comedian. Number 9. Jimmy Kimmel.
Before we start the show, before the audience shows up, I wanted to say a few words about Bob Saget.
Many fellow comedians have been sharing stories about Saget, some funny, some touching, and some a bit of both. Jimmy Kimmel gave one of the most emotional tributes on his talk show without an audience present. Although Kimmel made several attempts, he couldn't record the segment without getting choked up.
A word that came up a lot was the sweetest.
Kimmel reminisced about Saget's fundraising to fight scleroderma, the disease that took his sister Gay's life. In addition to comedy, Kimmel and Saget bonded over parenthood. Kimmel shared an especially poignant email that exemplified how much Saget loved his children. He concluded his tribute with a 2017 interview where Saget, Kimmel, and John Stamos reflected on Don Rickles' passing. None of them imagined that within a few years, Kimmel and Stamos would be remembering Saget.
Bob and John joined me on the show to eulogize Don, to tell stories about him and how much we were going to miss him. We never imagined that 4.5 years later, we'd be talking about...
Number 8. Jodie Sweetin. Playing Danny's middle daughter Stephanie, Jodie Sweetin knew Saget since she was 5, and their friendship lasted well beyond childhood.
I've known her since she's 5 years old. Wow, right?
Sweetin shared a thoughtful Instagram post following Saget's passing, writing, quote, "We never missed a chance to tell each other I love you." She reflected on the music that Saget introduced her to, as well as his knowledge of comedy. While Sweetin had too many stories about Saget to share them all, she fondly remembered him dancing with Dave Coulier at her 13th birthday party. Saget also made pancakes for his daughters and Sweetin when she visited on weekends. Proclaiming Saget the best TV dad ever, Sweetin appropriately wrapped up her post by channeling Stephanie. Quote, "You were supposed to be here longer. How rude."
How rude.
Number 7. Candace Cameron Bure.
DJ, honey, I can't let you have a garage sale.
What if I give you 10% of the profits?
In the Full House pilot, eldest Tanner daughter DJ has an especially difficult time adjusting to a new house and life without her mother. Almost 35 years later, actress Candace Cameron Bure mourned her TV dad. "I don't know what to say," a heartbroken Bure tweeted. Expressing her love for Saget, Bure called him one of the best human beings that she's ever known. Less than a year before his passing, Saget described Bure as one of his best friends on his podcast.
And my guest is Candace Cameron Bure. That's right, DJ Tanner from Full House and Fuller House. And she is one of my best friends.
According to Bure, the two kept in contact well into her adulthood, talking almost every day. Bure said in April 2020, quote, I'll walk away from my phone and come back to 45 texts, and they're usually all from Bob Saget.
Who knew? Who knew that when you were 10 years old and I was 30, that you'd be on my podcast?
Number 6, Andrea Barber. Andrea Barber played Kimmy Gibbler, the Tanner family's next-door neighbor and DJ's best friend. Although the other Tanners could find her obnoxious, Kimmy practically grew into the fourth daughter.
Hey, it's the Saturday night with nothing to do gang.
Barber and Saget developed a real-life friendship, becoming much more than co-stars. On Instagram, Barber reflected on how Saget, quote, had the biggest heart of anyone in Hollywood. Saget also, quote, gave the biggest hugs, according to Barber, who was gutted to realize that she'll never be able to hug her friend again.
You can say it. You love me.
I love that you said it for me. All right, come on, bring it in.
Saget regularly ended texts and conversations with "love you," which is a testament to the lesson Barber learned from him. Quote, don't hesitate to tell people you love them. Barber also shared a heartfelt speech Saget gave at a Fuller House table read.
And I'm so proud to have been able to raise these girls and know them since they were like my girls.
Number 5, Kat Dennings.
Dad, this is close enough. Remember, we had a deal.
Sarah, there's nothing wrong with a father driving his daughter to school.
Although it only lasted one season, Raising Dad is remembered for its cast, which included Saget, a young Kat Dennings, and an even younger Brie Larson.
Okay, Emily.
Okay, I like to start off with my no column. 1, boys I like. 2, boys I don't like.
Hey, Saget raised Darcy Lewis and Carol Danvers. Despite not working together for very long, Saget left a strong impression on Dennings. On Twitter, Dennings called Saget, quote, the loveliest man. Much like the sitcom characters Saget often played, Dennings remembered him as, quote, kind and protective. In another tweet, the actress reminisced about what a wonderful guy Saget was. According to Dennings, Saget, quote, always went out of his way to make her comfortable and talked non-stop about his kids. Saget might have been raunchier than Danny Tanner or Matt Stewart, but the nurturing nature he brought to both roles was genuine.
Sarah, you should know that you have a father who's doing the best that he can.
Number 4, Josh Radnor.
Kids, I'm going to tell you an incredible story. The story of how I met your mother.
Are we being punished for something?
No.
Yeah, is this gonna take a while?
Yes.
Outside of Full House, Saget was best known as the narrator on How I Met Your Mother. Although he never made a physical appearance, Saget guided us through Ted Mosby's 9-season journey to meet the mother. Saget and Josh Radnor are forever bonded through Ted Mosby.
Hey.
Hi, Bob.
Josh.
In a series of tweets, Radnor shared his memories of the, quote, older, wiser Ted. When the show started, Radnor was dealing with imposter syndrome. Saget gave him a confidence boost, praising his performance. Saget and Radnor remained friends from day one, grabbing dinner at least once a year and supporting each other's Broadway plays. Radnor also noted Saget's dedication to his daughters and fighting scleroderma.
I love the show very much. It's an interesting thing, and I'm friends with a lot of the people. Josh Radnor and I go to dinner.
Radnor concluded, quote, I'll hear his voice in my head for the rest of my days. Number 3, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good.
The Olsen twins were only 6 months old when they landed the role of Michelle Tanner, so the two knew their TV dad almost as long as they've known their biological father.
Just like we always will.
Although they never reprised their role on Fuller House, the fraternal twins shared a close rapport with Saget. In 2021, Saget mentioned that the three often tried to meet up whenever he was in New York or they were in his neck of the woods. The Olsens remembered Saget as, quote, the most loving, compassionate, and generous man. In a statement, they said, quote, we are deeply saddened that he is no longer with us, but know that he will continue to be by our side to guide us as gracefully as he always has.
The 35-year-old twins went on, adding that they are thinking of the comedian's 3 daughters, Aubrey, Lara, and Jennifer, and his wife, Kelly, and are sending their condolences.
Number 2, John Stamos.
35 years ago, we came together as a TV family, but we became a real family. And now, We grieve as a family.
You can't have Danny Tanner without Uncle Jesse and Joey. Dave Coulier paid his respects on Twitter, writing, quote, "My heart is broken. I love you, Bob. Your forever brother, Dave." Saget was especially close with John Stamos, who tweeted, quote, "I will never ever have another friend like him." On Instagram, Stamos shared a photo of the Full House cast, stating that they were much more than a TV family. In a subsequent post, Stamos struggled to accept Saget's death. He imagined a happier reality where Saget is still here, kills it on stage, and goes back to his hotel to call his wife Kelly Rizzo. Stamos and Rizzo embraced each other not long after Saget's passing, showing just how close Saget's two families were.
Bob, I love you dearly. You've been there for me.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions. Patton Oswalt. Saget interviewed him for a documentary almost 3 months before his passing. Mike Young. Saget's touring partner and friend shared a funny final text.
The last text, we were just joking back and forth because we were getting ready to do some shows together. And I said, Bobby, you got to put me on the poster. You put my face on the poster at this point. We're together over 10 years. And he just made this hilarious picture. And I didn't even bring the picture, but it was me, a giant picture of me and Bob, a tiny Bob in the corner.
Norman Lear. The two sitcom legends were close friends. George Wallace. When they had Thanksgiving, Saget didn't realize you have to remove the turkey innards.
As much as we loved him and Danny Tanner and the host of America's Funniest Videos, the filthiest mouth in the world.
Jim Carrey. Quote, "He had a big, big heart and a wonderfully warped comic mind," Carrey tweeted.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Aubrey Saget.
Bob Saget's daughter shares a text from her dad just hours before his tragic death.
It shouldn't come as a surprise that America's dad was a real-life father. Like Danny Tanner, Saget had 3 daughters, Aubrey, Lara Melanie, and Jennifer Bell.
His eldest daughter, Aubrey Saget, posted this screenshot to her Insta story.
Eldest daughter Aubrey honored her father by sharing a screenshot of the final text message that he sent her hours before his death. Quote, "Thank you, love you, showtime." Saget performed in Orlando shortly before passing away in his hotel. Nobody could have imagined that this would be his last show. In a way, though, his last text to his daughter perfectly summed up Saget. He was thankful for everything he had, never missed an opportunity to express his love, and always knew how to put on a good show. Sometimes the simplest words can be the most powerful.
Reading simply, "Thank you, love you, showtime."
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.